Hello, curling fans, and welcome back to continuing coverage of the BC U21 Championships. We're watching the ladies semifinal tonight. John Cullen here with you alongside former BC U21 men's champion Will Sutton. And Will, we've got a matchup tonight between Emily Bowles and Gracelyn Richards, two teams that are extremely familiar with each other.
Absolutely. This will be, I think, the sixth time we've seen these teams play this year in a BC championship, whether it was the special U21 qualifier or the U18s or this one here, and yeah, lots of matchups and always a close game between these two.
Yeah, no question. This is a rematch of, like you said, a bunch of the games they've played already. They played in a huge final against each other in the U18 championships that just passed in Delta in January. It was Gracelyn Richards who won that one, but Emily Bowles won the special Worlds qualifier back in November, and so that maybe stands out as potentially the bigger win, Will, but certainly two teams that know each other well and are playing great this season.
Absolutely, and an interesting thing about a couple of the games against these teams is it's often extra ends and often been a steal that's won the game. So really look for an interesting game here, and looking forward to it, John.
Yeah, me as well. No question about it. It's been a long week for these ladies here. The men's tournament had a little bit of a shorter tournament run. There were only 5 teams on the men's side that were competing, but of course the ladies had 10 teams competing, so it's been a long week, and particularly for Team Richards, they've taken the long way to get here as they dropped into the long side of the Page playoff. And so Richards had to beat Wong and Bushy, which they did. They beat Wong 10-0 and Bushy 8-7 to find themselves in this semifinal. Whereas Bowles were actually in the 1-2 Page game, losing to Hafeli this morning. And so that's how they found themselves in this semifinal. And yeah, it should be a great one.
Absolutely, and yeah, Team Hafeli, they're getting the night off. Probably watching this game on the stream, I would imagine, or maybe at the club, and they've been in this position before for our special U21 qualifier, so I'm sure it was a learning experience for them up there in Kamloops when they went through that, and I'm sure they're watching and looking forward to the final tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. These are sort of the 3 teams that have been in and around the title picture. Hafeli was deep in the playoff picture there as well in both the U21s and U18s. This is certainly something that we don't see too often, Will, where you have the same teams in and around the title picture for the U21s, but also that they're U18 players on both sides. You have players who can qualify for U18. You don't typically see teams that are that young doing this well so early in their career.
Exactly, lots of experience on the ice right now. Even though both these teams are young in age, they've both been in lots of finals and some Canada Winter Games experience on the ice as well in Team Richards and their back end. So yeah, really look for both these teams, and just having a look here with the number of rocks in play out in the first end should be very entertaining for all of us at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see the two teams getting into it right away. Of course, this is the home club for Team Gracelyn Richards out of the Comox Valley Curling Club. They also represent the Duncan Curling Club and the Royal City Curling Club. We'll go over the lineup. It's Gracelyn Richards at skip, Kaylee Duncan at third, Grace McCusker at second, and Carly Hardy playing lead. Adam Duncan is, of course, their coach. And on the other side, Emily Bowles representing a veritable mishmash of Lower Mainland curling clubs. They represent the Royal City, Delta, and Tunneltown curling clubs. Emily Bowles at skip, Meredith Cole at third, Kira McCoy at second, and Chelsea Taylor at lead. Chris Summers is the coach over on that side of things.
When you train as much as these teams do, John, you got to have a few clubs you play at just to have enough practice time.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely, yeah. I think the days are gone, Will. I mean, back when I was growing up, I had the keys. The Keysards Curling Club just gave me the keys to the club, and I could just go throw whenever I wanted to. I don't know if you had the same luxury in Victoria, but I feel like those days might be over.
I was fortunate to have a teammate who was also an ice maker growing up, but yeah, I think the demand for the sport now makes it pretty tough for these teams to get practice ice, but our clubs are great, and thanks to clubs like Delta where Team Bulls trains, and Comox Valley where Team Richards trains, for really prioritizing high quality ice and providing great conditions for these teams to train on, so that when they get to the BC Championships like this, it's just like playing in their home club.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, for Grayson Richards, this is literally like playing in her home club, because this is her home club. So, you know, talk to me a little bit about that, Will. I mean, you grew up in Victoria, and so, you know, I'm sure you played your fair share of events, important events at your home club. What does it mean to be able to play something like this in a club that you're so familiar with, that you play at all the time?
I think it can mean a lot to have those familiar faces. As long as you make sure the distractions are all taken care of, you can really use some of the advantages you have from being in your home club. One that comes to mind for me is your home club is always that kind of terms of reference for draw weight. So when you're able to come back to your home club, a place where you do all your training, where you throw all those draws to the button, maybe in that training environment in big moments, it's really nice to get a chance to do that in your club. But at the same time, I think it's important when you're at your home club to recognize there'll be a few more people in the audience maybe watching, and plan for that too. And I'm sure this team has.
So it is Team Richards, speaking of that home cooking, that had Team Bulls in some trouble, but a very nice shot there from Kira McCoy to help with some of the damage there, because was looking a little hairy there for Team Bulls, as Team Richards had 3 buried all in the forefoot. But they are still lying 2 without hammer here to start.
Even though Keely Duncan is young, you'll see a number of patches on her arm there. Those all represent all the BC championships she's been a part of over the years. So very accomplished curler here.
12, 12, 8. Line's good. Graces. 4. Okay. Easy. It's curling right now. Okay.
I think I said it was Kaylee Duncan earlier. My apologies. Keely Duncan. Thank you, Will, for making me realize my handwriting might not be very good. So not a bad spot for that rock either, as Team Richards continues to apply the pressure here without hammer.
The double jams. We might be. I mean, I'm fine jamming, I think, right? If that, we hope is there. Yeah?
At a stage in the end here where
yeah, Peel?
that one yellow of yours in the back 4 is really not helping you. So I think it's about removing a blue here and leaving your shooter in a good spot.
Yeah, I think there might be an opportunity here, Will, for Team Bulls to get all 3 of these blues out.
Yep.
Or at least get 2 of them going, for sure.
Right on the nose, eh?
Yeah, I think that's what they were indicating they're looking for here from Meredith Cole. We'll see her first shot of the game here.
Meredith is the longtime third on this team. The skip of Team Bulls is really the new player on this team, formerly known as Team Taylor prior to this season.
Nice shot there from Meredith Cole. That does leave Bulls now sitting shot, but it is a pretty lonely yellow in there, Will.
Yeah, Richards having hammer and 4 blues in the rings here. I think they'll take a moment here to see what the opportunity is. So looking
Richards
at hitting...
doesn't have hammer here, just to clarify there.
Oh, sorry, John. Thanks.
No, that's okay.
Gonna make a play on it.
Okay, good way to Akils.
Solid. 10, easy. Easy. One warm. Hard. You're close. Hard for everything. Hard. Sit.
Nice shot there from Keely Duncan. So it is yellow lying first shot, but blue lying 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So maybe a little bit scary here if you're Emily Bowles.
Sorry? Do you like that?
Talking about
9?
hitting it on the high side, but there is a little bit of risk to that.
All right.
Yeah, if you ever just miss it and get rid of that yellow, you could be in some huge trouble here. Very nice shot there from Keely Duncan, or sorry, Meredith Cole. So it is still Bowles lying 1 with hammer, and a lot of blues in and around the house, but certainly looking a little less scary now, I think, if you're Emily Bowles.
Yeah, at the moment, you look at the scoring area for Team Bowles, and it's a little larger than it was before that shot. So Team Richards is going to try to close it down right now with a freeze, but overall, that was a great shot.
So, of course, earlier today in the men's semifinal, we saw Team Fenton score a big win over Team Kent, and that meant that they actually get a berth in the Nationals by virtue of the BC Junior Men's having 2 spots at the Nationals. The ladies are not afforded the same luxury, so the winner of this game will move on to face Holly Hafeli in the final, and it will only be the winner of the final that moves on to the U21 Championships in Stratford, Ontario at the end of the month, the end of March, I should say.
Come off a bib, it's still back. Back 8.
So still obviously a big game, but whichever team wins this will have some work to do tomorrow.
Drag it over. Hard, Grace.
And that will bounce off a little bit, Will, and so kind of out of nowhere, Bowles might have a chance to score a multiple.
Yeah, it's important to make a bit of a roll here and not leave a double. But I think you're right, John, with a little hit and roll inside, it could be a chance for 2 or maybe even 3.
I think I like it.
Yeah, 2 excellent shots by Meredith Cole, doing a little bit of damage control to get her team in this position. So we'll see if Emily Bowles can make a nice little hit and flop here. Little laugh there as we got the whoa, yes, on, curl, no, don't, from the girls there. They had a little chuckle, but great shot there from Emily Bowles, and they're lying 2 with hammer.
Yeah, generally a good sign when you're going back and forth like that, so nice shot, absolutely.
Can you see any of them? Like, I just don't want to play that. I kind of have to play it. I like the draw. Yeah, why would you say the same thing?
This is always a tough adjustment, Will, when you're Gracelyn Richards, your team's been dominating the entire end, and now all of a sudden you got to make a real finesse draw for 3, or sorry, to prevent the other team from getting 3. It can sometimes be hard to wrap your mind around that.
Exactly. I think, obviously it'd be nice if there was a rock you could hit easily in this circumstance, but there really is no easy hit on the yellows, and there's really just hit and rolls off the blues. So kind of being forced into this shot, but you're right, John. Fortunately, there was a pre-game practice, so a little bit of a reference point here for for the team, but not ideal situation in the first end of the game without hammer for Graceland Richards here.
So here we go, final stone
No, that's
for
less.
Graceland Richards,
Easy.
facing 2 without hammer.
It felt like less, guys. Easy, easy. No, it's not curling.
Back forward. Back
They
forward
need
right
this to
now.
get buried,
Come
and
on.
looks like it might be a little heavy. It will slow down at the end, but I don't think it stops in time. And so Emily Bowles, after just 3 rocks ago, only sitting 1 with Richards lying the next 5 counters,
15.
is
Okay.
going to have a draw to the forefoot for 3.
Yep.
Yeah, the last 6 shots of this end sure saw a shift in the momentum, and chance here to make the draw. As we were saying in the previous draw, but if you're just joining us for the first time, the ice has been wonderful all week, and you'll see there the curls about 4 feet, and draw waits about 15 seconds to the tee line. So teams are, the tendency is to maybe overthrow them a little bit. So really important to throw them to your sweepers a little bit, and ensure that they're involved in the shot to give yourself the best chance out here is how I understand is working.
Fine, just keep going. Wait's close.
Well, Emily's got her sweepers involved right away here. We'll see if Chelsea Taylor and Kira McCoy can get it there. Needs a piece of the forefoot here, about
That's okay.
half in. Can they get it there? They cannot. So, as you said, Will, earlier today we saw teams missing the draws heavy, but there Emily Bowles misses it light, but still will put 2 on the board. We'll get our first look at Graceland Richards with hammer when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's BC Championships live on Curl BC TV. Welcome back to continuing coverage of the BC U21 Provincial Championships. Here we've got the women's semifinal. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton. It's another Bowles-Richards battle here in BC. We've seen a few of these this year, and it was Emily Bowles jumping out to an early 2-0 lead. Meredith Cole really getting it all set up for Team Bowles
We're back 8.
in that first end.
Back 8.
Absolutely, nice bailout shots by Meredith, and then a hit and roll from the skipper there, and wasn't able to make the draw for 3, but overall a nice start there for the back end on Team Bowles.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see, you know, obviously Emily coming up a little bit light, but you know it's obvious to tell both these skips great throwers, and Graceland actually got a lot of attention for her U18 championship winning shot over this Bowles team. She made a phenomenal run back double with her last one to secure that victory, and I shared the video on Twitter, and it got a a lot of love. She's definitely a great thrower,
Curling,
and so is
yep.
Emily, and so are their whole
Whoa,
teams.
okay,
It's
switch.
really great to watch
We're
young
really-
curlers
whoa, we're
playing
not
so
moving
well,
now.
and both teams are getting right into it again in this end
Go
here,
back,
Will,
yeah.
with a lot of rocks in play.
Oh.
Yes, they are, and
yeah, over,
more
over.
on
Hard,
on
hard,
that
hard.
social and camaraderie side of
just
things.
saw
I think
it.
you saw these teams talking
I got a 14-9
before
though.
the game started, and they are great friends off the ice. So while this is a big game, and one team goes on to the final, another one doesn't. It is really great that these high performance athletes can be such good friends on and off the ice as well.
Absolutely. And I think too, you know, especially when you play each other this much, you know, it can be very easy to, you know, sort of cultivate a rivalry, and you know, maybe that bleeds into off ice stuff. And you know, like for example, I just hate Jim Cotter. No, I'm just kidding. Jim's like the nicest guy on earth, but yeah, you know, it just sometimes you can have that rivalry, but you can still also be great friends. And I think, yeah, it's awesome to see
11?
the young curlers. Obviously,
Okay,
you know,
11
when
and
you
go here.
and you know this, Will, when you come up and there's another team that is not only very good but is also all around your age, it just makes you better. You know, and I think we're seeing that in this provincial championship. The final three teams, these two and Holly Hafeli,
Yeah.
who we'll see in the final
Yeah.
tomorrow, all U18
Really
curlers,
hard.
all extremely
Hard,
good teams. And I
Carly.
think it's just a
Come on,
case
buddy,
of
hard.
iron sharpening iron when you
Hard,
have
right up.
three teams that are all so
Hard.
good
Hard,
they
hard,
just
hard,
push
hard.
each other to be better.
Okay.
You got it, and an honorable
good.
mention there to Kayla Bushi too, who lost
Yes.
earlier out today, and she's kind of been one of the ones driving this generation of youth curlers in BC. And I think the three teams that are left in this event would say that a lot of the games they've maybe lost to Kayla in the past have been stepping stones for them, and why they're having the success they're having here tonight and maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Kayla, of course, winning BC back in 2020. And yeah, no, absolutely, Will. You're totally right. You always need people to push you. It makes me think too of, you know,
Really
we see
great,
Corinne Brown having a lot of success at the ladies level and was pushed for years by Sarah
9.
Daniels. And you know, when
Which
you
turn you
have
want?
that sort of rival,
Hey.
especially at these young ages, it
It
really
won't
does
move very much here.
just make you better. And it's been really awesome to see and to watch. And we just saw another very nice shot there made by Kira McCoy. And so Grace McCusker is going to have to make a run back here.
Now just pick. Hard kills.
Speaking of players who have been around a long time,
You get picked out of your
Grace
hand.
McCusker and
you dump
Chelsea
it?
Taylor, who
I didn't think so.
unfortunate pick there, who throw the lead rocks, are former teammates and went to a BC Winter Games together, I believe back in about 2016. So it really is a long time that even though they are now playing against each other, these competitors go back to playing with one another, and who knows, one day they may play together again. So I think we know that, John, as both being involved in the sport for so long, that you're competitors now, but you might be teammates down the road.
Line's really
Yeah.
close.
Oh yeah,
so lots of
absolutely.
room.
And especially in
Okay,
BC,
got it,
it
girl.
seems like at the senior levels of I should say the men's and
Where?
ladies levels of the game, the teams seem to change pretty often, Will. So it's always always good
Wait,
to
just freeze in the corner.
have those sort of friendships with people. You never know
No bounce.
where you'll end up.
That
And
works.
that was a slight mistake there from Meredith Cole. Just they were trying to throw a guard and it came in the house. So this might allow Richards a chance to
Unless you can get
stack some
that.
rocks in the rings here.
That's there if you can. Just off nose. We get the front, it'll bump this in, right? 10?
So looking
Solid,
to
just
run
10
this
though.
blue onto the yellow, and obviously the only thing you don't want to do is hit half a rock or a quarter of a rock and leave yellow sitting 3. But
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Carly. Whoa. No, Carly.
And Keely Duncan will make it, but unfortunately the shooter will roll too far. So it is now Bowles sitting 2, although getting that rock off of the 4-foot
I don't mind sticking.
will be pretty good for Team Richards.
Yeah, I think that's a good shot. She kept her shooter in the rings, and they didn't lose the other one, so kept 2 blues in the rings there. So you're like you say, rolled a little too far, but pretty good.
So Meredith Cole just looking to hit and stick here.
Clean, clean,
Maybe a slight
clean.
roll inside.
Clean. Yeah. Can you roll under? Whoa.
She will get a little bit of a roll, but
Good throw, man.
sets up a double here. And this is a situation here, Will, where if the double's made, a little bit of decision time here for Team Bowls, because that yellow in the back might start feeling a little lonely back there.
Exactly, yeah. All about sticking around here and making the double. Exactly, John.
Yep. Hard. Right over top. Go, Grace. Go, go, go.
Wonderful
Good
shot.
kill.
Great shot from Keely Duncan, no mistake. And so now all of a sudden we've got a couple a couple Richards rocks in the rings.
Do you like here? What weight you want to throw here? Just a 10-5. I like it. Let's make it. Might run on the center.
The one
Might
thing
run on
that's
the center,
working
I'm
in
not
Team
sure.
Bowls' favor is that if they
10-5.
hit this, they'll be lying 2. So that is one thing that's helping them out.
10-5. One. That way.
So first stone here for Emily Bowles in the second, looking to hit and lie 2.
Yeah. Whoa. No, straight, straight. Watch the double. No, that's
And
not
Emily
bad.
Bowles coming over the top of that one a little bit, and now all of a sudden a 2 is in play here for Gracelyn Richards. Looked like maybe she got that one started a bit, Will.
I think so, yeah. They were a little fortunate there not to jam that.
It'll jump here at the end, so brim's down. 5? 10-5, yeah.
So first stone here for Gracelyn Richards. Looking to hit and stick and lie 2 with the hammer.
Yep, hard. Really hard. Really hard.
Called Grace McCusker on it right away.
Whoa. Yep, hard.
Needs it to stick.
Hard. Hard, Grace. Clean, clean.
And it will do just that. So lovely shot from Gracelyn Richards, and it's looking like a 2 will be heading up on the board here, Will.
Yeah, just about just no double here, just a nose hit, and should be a chance for Team Richards to get the deuce back.
No, his little roll's good too, but yeah, little roll's fine, but they're even, so it's like.
So final stone here for Emily Bowles in the second end. Just needs to make this blue one go away.
9, lead, whoa! 9-5, lead! Cam.
And she will do just that. So Gracelyn Richards will have basically an identical shot to her last one, and just needs to stick in the paint for 2.
Okay, 10-5. 10-8. I slid slower than
So final stone, Gracelyn Richards
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
needs the hit and stick for 2.
Clean, clean, clean. Yep.
She likes
clean,
it.
Clean, clean.
The sweepers like it. And the scoreboard will like it. So a nice answer from Gracelyn Richards to tie this game at 2. Emily Bowles will have the hammer once again when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinal live from Comox, BC on cbcsports.ca. Hello, folks. Welcome back to continuing coverage of the BC U21's Championships. U21's Championships. Wow, you can tell that we're 2 games deep here today. The U21 BC Championships, the ladies semifinal here between Team Gracelyn Richards and Team Emily Bowles. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton. And Will, we've seen some great shot making already. We're only in the 3rd end, but we've already got 4 points up on the board, and both teams look like they came to play today.
Absolutely, and a lot of that is because of the amount of rocks in play and the shots being made by the front ends. Not this particular shot we're watching, but we've been seeing lots of nice shots being made and draws being put in front of the tee line to start these ends off. So been a good game so far.
I like going here.
Absolutely. So yeah, Chelsea Taylor with the rare miss so far in this game was looking to, I think, freeze on that yellow one or maybe just bump it back, and slid right by. So an opportunity here for Carly Hardy to, Chelsea Taylor rather. I keep getting the 2 teams mixed up. I swear by the end of this game I will get it correct.
Curling, heads up.
Chelsea Taylor now. Carly Hardy was the one with the miss earlier. Chelsea Taylor looking to draw a 2nd point into the rings here.
Line? No, line's fine. Line's fine. That's it. Really
real
good,
nice second shot here from
excellent shot from Chelsea Taylor. Yep. I think it's because one of the teams is wearing, they've got like a purple, the other team's got pink. They're like in the same color family, I think, right, Will? Like, they don't look, don't get me wrong, they don't look the same. It just, maybe that's what's screwing me up.
Definitely in the same sport category.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking for. Just someone to back me up on my early mistakes here.
Nice shot.
Wow. Grace McCusker for fun, no big deal, making a run back double. And we've seen, Will, both these teams, great draw games, but they can also hit. And one thing I'm seeing so far too is they're not throwing blistering weight. You know, that was just a nice controlled peel weight from Grace McCusker and made that shot no problem.
Exactly, and I like the reaction from the skip. She simply said thank you, and yeah, that is a thank you kind of shot, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, certainly after Chelsea Taylor's great pair of draws there, you certainly feel good about making that. And unfortunately, Kira McCoy can't answer, so opportunity now for Gracelyn Richards without the hammer to put some pressure on.
Do you want to play the other two?
It's great to see both these teams so close on shots that have a high degree of difficulty to them.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. Yep.
Leo, line's good. Stay close. No, 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 no. Not moving yet. Here it comes. No. Close. Whoa. Line's good, line's good, line's good.
Carly's.
No, can't go back. No.
Would love for this one to slow down above the tee line.
Hey guys, 14-6.
And it'll come just a little bit heavy, so
I'll give you the same turn.
Emily Bowles maybe had the option to come down to that one, but they're going to throw the peel again, the
Sorry.
run back. Great try there from Kira McCoy. Can't get both blues out, but she will get rid of one of them. So looking a little better again in the house here for Team Bowles.
They play this, they're going to do behind tee, so.
Kira McCoy, she's a multi-sport athlete, as a lot of these curlers are. She plays a lot of field hockey in whatever season the field hockey season goes on. I believe it is a little bit of a conflict with the curling season.
Yeah, I think it's a fall game, isn't it? Like a fall,
Exactly,
spring.
yeah.
Yeah. I could never play field hockey because I can't shoot right. You can only shoot right in field hockey. I always shot left, so I'd be a disaster.
What's nose? Nose just highs. I like a 10 here. Yeah, just nose.
Get a good look there at Keely Duncan. You can see all the badges on her arm. It's been a busy year for both of these teams, Will, and usually we don't see the junior teams still playing competitive games in this late in February. Obviously, COVID forcing a weird year this year where there's been 2 national championships. Obviously, Emily Bowles making the first one and looking to go again, but it's obviously been a bit of an adjustment for these teams.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's been a great opportunity these last few months for teams between ages 15 and 20 to play in a number of events. So yeah, some of these teams are playing in their third BC championship or like a BC championship, that special U21 qualifier. So it's a lot of curling they've already done this year, and still a lot more to come because there's the mixed and mixed doubles and other categories that high school championships that some of these athletes are taking part in. So there's not only the annual plan that you have with your competitive team or high performance team in these groups cases. It's a little bit of a miss there, unfortunate, but there's also the annual planning you need to do for all those other categories you play in. So it's quite a season a lot of these competitors have along with their school.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot to balance, especially when you get to the upper tier of U18s and you start to be trying to graduate high school at the same time, or get started in university or college at the same time you try to curl competitively. Not easy. So certainly you have to make a lot of sacrifices in this game. And
right here.
Team Bowles, again, another sort of late end surge for 2 here. But this looks well short of the house from Meredith Cole. So a couple of unfortunate misses. Keely Duncan maybe turned over her first one or her second one, and it completely flashed the rock. And then unfortunately for Team Bowles, Meredith Cole coming short of the house. So an opportunity here for Gracelyn Richards, if she can make a hit and roll behind these guards, be looking pretty decent to steal here.
10-5. Like head over the draw, right? Okay.
Electing to throw the inside out turn.
Okay. Yep. Hard.
Would love to get the roll here. And that's the second time they've seen that on that turn, Will. I agree. We don't always see teams take the inside out there, and you would think maybe after Keeley missed, they might have switched to the outside in, because that's 2 in a row that over-curled on them.
Maybe here.
They looked like they took a considerable amount of ice for the shot, so it definitely it's moving really good there. So that's a good thing to go to school on for maybe later on in this game, assuming the rock was thrown well.
Maybe 15.
Chris Summers there in the background, coach of Team Bulls.
No, I think I've seen guys at like T though.
He's texting me and telling me how good of a job I'm doing on the commentary.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah. He said you're doing okay, Will. He said I'm doing great, though. So again, another chance for Emily Bowles if she can get around these 2 guards, looking in great position for 2.
Wait.
She's not in love with that out of her hand. You need this one to stay in the rings. And so after about 2.5 ends where we really didn't see any misses, Will, we're seeing a few here in this third end, tricking these teams.
Absolutely. Some real surprising misses this end. Looks like they're going to laugh it off and
and shake it off too, maybe.
And yeah, I like it.
Yeah, looked like she was maybe tapping into a little Taylor Swift there, shaking it off. So now if Gracelyn Richards here, if she can put this in the top of the button, well, it's going to be extremely difficult for Emily Bowles to score. I shouldn't say that she can't score. I think she might have a run back, but certainly won't be easy. So big shot here for Gracelyn Richards. Chance to potentially score without the hammer.
Switch. Whoa. Not
even a
curling at all,
force
guys.
is great if they can
drag it over. Yep. No. You gotta go, Grace. You gotta go. Hard drag. Whoa.
So nice shot there from Gracelyn Richards, and I think it'll curl enough here, Will, that they can get to this blue,
Yeah,
but
that's true. Sure.
Yeah, the button's open there, so I think they can follow down Gracelyn's shot there.
Do you like that ice then? Oh, wait. Yeah, just back 4.
Back 8's okay.
Yeah. Okay. They're like.
Even if you just throw back 8, that's not.
Okay.
Lots of compliments from the coaches and competitors about the ice this week, and Gord Tuano is the chief ice maker at the Comox Curling Club, so big thanks to him and his crew for all they've done leading up to the event and during the event here to provide these consistent, fast, swingy conditions.
we'll see if it'll swing enough here for Emily Bowles. I think she might just be a little bit too heavy. And indeed she is. So big steal of 1 for Gracelyn Richards. Emily Bowles will keep the hammer when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinal live from Comox. Welcome back, folks. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton. You're watching the U21 BC Women's Semifinal. Gracelyn Richards against Emily Bowles for the 6th time at a BC Championship this year. And so far it is Gracelyn Richards with a slight advantage, picking up a big steal of 1 in the 3rd. So she has a 3-2 lead over Emily Bowles.
Yeah, John, I think this... Oh, sorry,
go ahead. No, you go.
I was just going to say the story so far, I think it's been draw weight of Gracelyn Richards versus that draw weight of Team Bowles, and it's just been a little bit superior so far on the Team Richards side.
Okay.
Yeah, it seemed like they got a little bit tripped up. You know, Meredith Cole had a draw to lie to. She came up well short of the house, and it seemed like that got into Emily Bowles' head a little bit. And sometimes you see that as a skip, especially if you haven't thrown that many draws yet. You know, it can get in your head a little bit. You see your teammate come up a little short, and you know, then you come up a little bit heavy on your next couple. And so we'll see if they can just kind of dial in here.
We'll leave it. It's biting. Oh. All right. 15-8. It's okay.
So Richards lying 1, buried behind a
High is
couple
fine
here without the hammer.
Yes.
Nice start.
Over it yet. Pardon?
Looking to play the out turn here,
Even 8 foot's fine.
and lie 2.
We're a little tight. Line's okay. Line's
I
good.
gave it a bit.
Yeah, Keely.
I gave it a bit.
Full 4. Yep. Line. Line's good. Line's good. All you. Carly's finished. Whoa.
Hard car. If you can.
No. Great.
And there is that draw weight you were talking about, Will. Grace McCusker with a really nice one there. And it is Richards again, lying 2 without the hammer. And this is a movie we saw last end, too, where Bowles kind of had to chase
I
with
don't
some
think the double's
runbacks.
really there, though.
So looking to make the double peel here.
Yeah, you might get lucky and send it back on one of the blues in the house.
Hard, Joe. Really hard.
And they'll just make the straight double. So nice shot there from Kira McCoy. It's all yellow out front, but still Richards lying 2.
So when you're placing this guard for Team Richards,
enough to,
it's
like-
kind of tough to know. The situation's pretty good, but where's the best place?
Guard's
So
like a 2, like a 1.
you could come right into the 8 foot,
So
or
would be
you
enough
throw
for
the
them.
guard kind
Even
of
if
a
they
tight
do,
to
they gotta
halfway
throw, like,
guard.
Back line, right?
You want to put it in a place where you can maybe use
you're
it
gonna peel
later,
if we do this, so.
knowing that they're probably, just as Grayson
Yeah,
said, they're
yeah.
probably going to go peel that center
Like
guard on
higher
on their
thing.
next.
Give me a hair mark.
I think it's a little too early to come into the house here. I think if you're Richards and you're sitting 2, you're happy to just have your opponent be peeling at the moment. So Grace
Line's
McCusker
really good.
looking to, as you said, Will, just put this about halfway tight to the rings.
Whoa. Okay.
Ideally, you'd be about half around the yellow
Gotta
center
stop
guard.
curling. That's
Yeah, I think your goal here should have been to try to make a double
Okay,
as hard
Carly.
as possible,
Carly,
whether it's
yeah,
a double
Carly, yeah.
peel or
Both you,
the rocks
hard.
in the rings. So
Hard. Okay, that's fine.
pretty good
Not a
shot there.
bad spot. Yep, that'll work.
Or do you want to just peel? Try in the run? I'm okay with that. Hit it like on the handle.
Okay.
So is peel?
Okay.
So hoping Kira McCoy can drive this yellow back into the pile of blues in the house. And she will just miss and drive it right on by. So it's still Gracelyn Richards in the driver's seat here, lying 2 without hammer.
So looking to guard that yellow stone so so Team Bulls can't use it.
Okay. Please. Switch. 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 Hard over. Hard over.
Got to make sure that you guard this
Come
yellow.
on, girls, you got it. Come on, guys, hard.
Grace McCusker trying to bring it over.
You gotta go every inch, guys, every inch. Keep going. Keep going. Okay.
And I don't know that that got over far enough. Oh, it did. Just enough, but chance now maybe to make the triple here for Meredith Cole. Yeah, ideally you would have split center on that one and guarded both of these shots. So big shot here for Meredith Cole. Chance to get rid of all 3 blues. And unfortunately only gets rid of one of them. So it's still Richards lying 2, and Bulls starting to run out of time here. The one thing that's a positive here, Will, for Bulls is that they do have those 2 hanging around in the 12-foot.
Exactly, yeah. So doesn't look like you want to leave that. Is there a double there on that left side, John? What do they see? Maybe a third of that?
Yeah, I don't know if you could get by with enough weight. I think watching the men's game earlier, I think we've seen with any type of up weight, it runs pretty straight. So I don't know that they could get by that guard and get both of those blues, but I think certainly if you're Gracelyn Richards, you'd be concerned about it.
Yeah, I think you might need to come down and see what you need to protect against here.
Yeah, we see Keely Duncan coming down to take a look.
Yeah. Do we just guard? Like, they've got the yellow run regardless, but I don't think she's hitting it really thin, and then we've just got the draw.
Is there any hit and roll, John, off that yellow, maybe
It's
over
this,
towards?
but it's just pushing back.
Yeah, that was my first instinct, was that you'd hit the yellow on the left as we're looking at it.
And just roll over there in front of the blues, maybe, and
Exactly. I
that'd
mean,
be
you
a
don't even
reasonable
have
call.
to, really. You don't even have to. I mean, even if you nose and sit right there, it's not terrible. Because I still don't think there's much of a shot for Emily Bowles on those 2 blues.
Or we can
And
play
it's a pretty threatening stone there. So yeah, it looks like they're getting there.
I don't think we're guarding that. We're guarding.
Because, yeah, you heard Gracelyn Richards say to Keely Duncan, if we guard the blues, she's going to have the yellow slash. So one way you can get rid of the yellow slash and maybe also guard the blues is by hitting and rolling. So, yep, I agree, Gracelyn.
Okay, yeah, go down, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you got it, Kales. Right to it.
So Keely Duncan looking for a hit and
Whoa.
roll.
10 will be.
Pull. Grace, you gotta go. Watch the roll. Yep. Okay, good.
Nice shot there from Keely Duncan. They might have even overswept it just a smidge, but I still don't think that, like I said, I don't think Emily Bowles really has this.
Yeah, appeal.
Yeah, they're just calling appeal on the guard, so.
Can you see here? I like peeling that.
She said she can see a thin half, Will. I think that's a pretty thin
get a
half
straight
that she can see.
You know,
The half's
yeah,
so thin it's like a quarter.
I didn't mind the call to maybe go after it with the in-turn, and the tolerance would be to get the peel. But no, just playing the straight peel's totally an acceptable call as well. But I didn't mind the going after it a little bit, and just the tolerance would be to maybe get that peel instead. But smart call here nonetheless.
Yeah, I think if you're Emily Bowles now, you're just thinking, how can I get in here to get my one? How can I draw for one? So getting rid of this maybe opens that up a bit.
Right, yeah. Just trying to find a way to get those stones behind the tee line.
Or just do it like that.
Wow.
That's really good, Mare.
They didn't call it, but that's pretty much the perfect result there for Meredith Cole. I mean, certainly they knew the double peel was there. I don't think they knew it was spinning back in the house like that. And it's starting to look a little bit better here for Emily Bowles. The forefoot completely open now.
Absolutely. Nice result there for Team Bowles.
It wires back on our
So Team Richards seeing an opportunity here to maybe put the pedal to the metal a bit, and they're going to draw around those rocks in the top of the house. Important, it's hard to do this, but important not to line up an easy triple or something, but it's pretty tough in this circumstance, so it's...
Yeah, I think for Graceland, the main thing is you don't want to line it up so that the yellow goes straight back onto it, and I almost think that's maybe why she changed the turn here.
Exactly, John. Yeah, I think you got it.
Little wider. Line's good, little wider. Curl, curl. Curl. Curl, go, go, go. Heart. Whoa, rub then. Carly, Carly. Sit. Go, 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 T.
Wow, what a shot from Graceland Richards.
Wonderful shot.
Great spot.
Let's see. Let's see.
Wonderful, wonderful curl there. Fully buried behind a rock that's in the top, almost in the top of the 8, biting the top of the 8 foot. Just a wonderful, wonderful spot, a piece of ice there.
Yeah, like I said, I think that's why they switched the turn. I think with the out turn, if you got buried, you may have ended up where the yellow would have dragged on if you hit that blue-yellow combo.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's, yeah, in a really good spot for Graceland Richards. And
No, we never play this, right? Yeah?
see what they're talking
Yeah, I don't
here.
mind it, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Oh.
And so we're getting an early timeout here called by Chris Summers.
It looked like they were leaning towards playing a freeze there, so Coach Chris is going to come out and look at some other options, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to tell them to try the thin double would be my guess. Because you make the thin double, you're possibly buried, and
It also
You're at
brings,
least
you know,
eliminating
three
rocks.
on, yeah, 3 or 2 or 3 into play, but obviously it's got some risk to it if you hit it too thick and leave your opposition sitting a couple.
Yeah, we totally can. I think you have to throw the engine. Okay. Okay. Okay, then the out turn.
Try the other.
Okay. But if we play the out turn. Wait, sorry, you're saying this? Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Let's make it.
Okay. So I think that is what Coach Summers told them to do, is the double. I think the thing here, Will, is if you throw the freeze, you're probably never scoring 2. You might not even score. You make the freeze, and then Gracelyn Richards puts a guard on it, and then, you know, then you're scrambling to score 1. And if you ever come short of the freeze, you're in massive trouble. So I like the double call here. You're getting rid of at least 1 blue, and if you make the double perfect, you're buried, and you're probably set up for a nice 2. So good timeout there, and we'll see if Emily Bowles can make it happen. Really close from Emily Bowles, but unfortunately rolls over the top, and it is still Gracelyn Richards lying 2 without hammer here in the 4th.
Important to look at where that yellow rock will drag to for Gracelyn, because she may be forcing Team Bowles into playing something with that yellow. So
So then, yeah, another point it. Yeah. She's getting.
oh, good. I saw the blue rock disappear down there on the bottom of the screen, and I thought I was losing my mind for a moment. But yeah, still one rock to come for both teams.
Commentating curling over the course of a weekend is just slowly losing your mind, so you don't have to worry about it, my friend. I'm here for you.
Thanks, John.
So same shot here for Gracelyn Richards, and here, Will, you know, if she can put it in the same spot, I don't even think Emily Bowles can score. So it's a big opportunity here.
Yeah, always nice to be getting to repeat this this intern draw that you just made so well.
So final stone here for Gracelyn Richards.
Yep.
Up 1, looking for another steal.
Close, waist close.
Line, yep.
Waist close.
Line's good. Line's good.
Back 4.
Grace. Graces. No, 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 no. No, sit. Sit. Whoa.
Just looked like they overswept that a bit and was maybe a little heavy out of the hand. So they are sitting 3, but lots of room for Emily Bowles here to pick up her 1.
Do you like here? I don't remember.
Yeah,
off
the hook a little bit here for Team Bowles, but
I like a 14.
still a tough shot, and looks like she's taken a little more ice than we just saw Team Richards take for the draw.
Full 4.
Yeah, she doesn't need to get as close to the guard as Gracelyn had, so don't mind that at all, but she will have to find her draw weight here. She was heavy last end twice, so we'll see if she can dial it in here. Big shot, facing 3.
So a little bit less than
Final
that,
stone in the
right?
4th here for Emily Bowles. Sweeper said it might be a little heavy. It looks heavy. They might need this backing. They might need this backing. And thankfully they have it. So nice shot under pressure from Emily Bowles to tie up the game. But Gracelyn Richards will get the hammer back when we come back with the fifth end. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinal live on Curl BC TV and cbcsports.ca. Hello and welcome back. Continuing coverage of the BC U21 Women's Semifinal. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton on the call here from the Comox Valley Curling Club in Comox, British Columbia. Home of one of the two teams we're seeing here in this game. It's Gracelyn Richards and Emily Bowles. And Will, not a surprise, these two teams locked in a close battle. It's 3-3, but we might say Team Richards maybe looking a little bit stronger so far, Will. Is that fair to say?
I think so, John. I think it's fair to say. And Team Richards does have the hammer here playing 5, so slight advantage with a little bit of control in this game if they're able to convert the deuce, as we all like to do when we have last rock.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a lot of pressure the last couple ends from Richards. She got the steal in 3 and had Emily Bowles drawing against 3 in the 4th, so it's been a good start for the Richards team. Of course, they're the reigning U18 champions, and they beat this very same Bowles team in the U18 final, so they'll be looking to replicate that feat. The winner of this game will go on to face Holly Hafeli in the finals tomorrow. Bowles would love to get back in that final and get another win and get another shot at nationals. Of course, they won the special qualifier back in the fall, but unfortunately went 1-4 at nationals, so I'm sure they would love a chance to get back there and improve on that. And for Hafeli and Richards, would love to get their first trip to the U21. So lots at stake here on a Saturday night in Comox.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Line's good, gotta be here. Right here. Got room. Got room. Clean, clean. Yep, yep, yep. Hard right here, hard. Keep going. Clean, clean. Really good sweep, guys. 15.
And a nice freeze made there by Kira McCoy.
Bumping's fine here.
So as we said earlier, all 8 of these athletes eligible at the U18 level still, and for Holly Hafeli, 3 out of the 4 players on her team are all U18 as well. So having 11 out of the 12 remaining curlers all under the age of 18 bodes well for BC junior curling.
Absolutely, John.
So would love to freeze here is Grace McCusker. And I think that might have rolled off to the point where, yeah, Emily, I think, can get both of these blues going.
Yeah, at least be able to, I don't know if you can get the one blue and the 4 foot out of there, but at least move it behind the tee line, John?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the weight they're throwing. I mean, we haven't seen Emily Bowles throw too much weight on their peels, so yeah, I would imagine they're probably not going to be able to get that back blue out, and we can see Kira not throwing a ton of weight, but certainly, yes, Will can get it moving, that's for sure. And that just was not enough weight for that shot. I'm a little surprised. They played like almost control at that. I mean, when I said a down weight, I was expecting like a controlled peel weight. Not that, because it is it's Richards lying two with hammer here. It's just the angle wasn't good enough, Will. You really had to take a look at that and just kind of chuck it a little hard in that.
Exactly, yeah. And Grayson here trying to put this into a spot that that'll kind of take this hit and roll away that's presently there. So it's the Christmas tree I think she's trying to do here, John.
I love Christmas.
I knew that.
Who doesn't? I mean, well, like lots of people that don't celebrate it or whatever, but yeah, when we talk about
it's a great time.
Yeah, when we talk about the Christmas tree, of course, we just mean the sort of the rocks almost looking like they're forming the points of a Christmas tree.
And really well executed there, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Just off nose.
Makes it so that there's no double, pardon me. So Meredith Cole forced to hit the outside one here. Might be able to double off that blue at the back. I'm sure that's what they're trying. And she'll make no mistake. Little control weight double from Meredith Cole. And that leaves Bowles as shot stone. I think Meredith's having trouble figuring out which side of the sheet she needs to be on. It's one of those things you have to adjust to when you start playing games that are being streamed or on TV. The hard camera's on one side of the sheet, so you have to be on the other side of the sheet when you're not throwing, and I know I always used to screw that up when I was playing on TV. Need to hit and roll this one in here. And unfortunately will not, so it does hang on, so that's at least a positive for Keely Duncan, but Bowles will be able to hit this blue and lie three.
Good job there by the team Richards third. Just Keely just checking in with her skip and finding out what happened with the throw there.
Line early up. Hard line. Hard.
Oh, uh-oh.
12-2. Should have had more ice there. A little tight, but I think it's mainly my bad.
All of a sudden, there'll be a double here to lie four for Team Richards with last rock, John.
That's why I said, oh, uh-oh. Sometimes that's about all you can say, Will. It's, yeah, just it looked like a little less weight, I think, than Emily Bowles wanted, and she also said Meredith Cole might have been a little tight, and light and tight, never a good combo. But the sweepers are all over this one.
And
That's
it's always
too
an
bad.
interesting, yeah, it's always an interesting stat to see your makes after another team's miss, and those can really tell quite a story if you're able to make your opposition really pay a price for some of those misses. And a bit of the story of this game has been maybe not capitalizing on some of those misses, and that's a good example of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge opportunity. You make that double, you're not only lying 4, but the 4 are completely spread out. I mean, I don't even know if Emily would have had a double on any of them if she makes it. Maybe she would have had it on I don't even know. It would have been really tough in any case. It would have been almost a guaranteed 2 for Richards if they make that double. And now here's an opportunity for Emily Bowles to hit the crotch of these two and lie to herself. So it's been a bit of back and forth, Will, and I agree. We haven't seen that kind of killer instinct from one of these teams yet where they really sort of, put their foot on the throat of the other team.
And I mean it with all due respect, because we're always trying to make every shot out there as a
Oh,
thrower
of course.
and competitor. But it's just always interesting those when you're not able to capitalize after your opposition misses. Sometimes shows up on the scoreboard.
And that over curls on Emily Bowles, so be another opportunity here for Richards to lie a bundle. And yeah, Will, I agree with you. I don't think that, we're not being overly critical. We're just speaking the truth. That is really what this game is all about. It's a momentum-based game, and you really have to take your opportunities when you get them, especially at this level, because you don't get opportunities that often.
Exactly.
Can we try and
The
split
trouble
them?
with the double now, I guess, John, is if you miss it on the over curl, you might
I'd
actually
rather just
roll
come
it
fully around.
buried in the pile of.
I know. Then she's got the double.
So is blue presently lying 1?
I think blue's lying 1, yep. So, I mean, I don't mind the double. I think Emily Bowles, I mean, she could draw, obviously. But, yeah, I think this is the call for sure.
Agreed.
Like, yes, Emily Bowles will have a draw around everything, but then you'd have that blue that you could run back for a huge score. I think, you want to put the pressure on Emily here. So I like this call.
And the turn selection is consistent with what this team's been doing all game. So while it might be different to see the center line out turn called here, this is what Team Richards been doing all game. So I think this is what they've gone to school on the most.
Yeah, certainly a turn they're familiar with, but we have also seen this turn over curls. So we'll see if Graceland can find it here, looking for a double to lie 3 or 4.
Yes!
Great shot.
And how about that? Fantastic shot from Graceland Richards, and they lie 4 with the hammer, and huge shot upcoming for Emily Bowles. The one positive we might say here, Will, for Bowles is I think Graceland's shot stone rolled a little bit too far, so she may not have that blue slash if Emily makes the double. Or sorry, makes the draw, rather.
I see what you're saying, yes. But
I think she's just going to hit and roll, which is probably the better call anyway. I was just thinking if she drew around everything before that, then, Graceland would have just had a run on this blue, but I don't think it's there anymore. But
yeah,
it's not going to matter. She can just make this hit and roll.
I don't mind a hair more.
And I think if she puts it in the right spot, it actually will be difficult for Graceland. She'll likely be forced into throwing a run back for 3 or a draw for 1.
that's always tough to do when you're sitting 4.
Yeah, it is for sure. So not an exaggeration to say the biggest shot of the game so far for Emily Bowles. Facing 4 without hammer, needs to make a hit and roll.
really the story of the end, John. Three takeouts for Team Bulls this end. Failed to remove a rock from play after making contact. So I'm not sure if it was the weight calls or just the weights that were thrown this end, but just not enough weight, essentially.
Yeah, seemed like they got maybe a little bit too cute with some of the weights there. And yeah, certainly a huge miss there from Emily Bowles, as she not only doesn't get the hit and roll, but doesn't remove that blue from play. And it's an open draw for 5 for Gracelyn Richards. They're calling a little light out of her hand.
Help, Keely. Help, Keely, harder, guys.
And Gracelyn Richards will give that point back. So it's not 5, but it's still 4. And it'll be a big lead for Gracelyn Richards. She'll be up 7-3. We're heading into the 5th end break, so we're gonna take a pause here for 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll see if Emily Bowles can find her way back into this game. She will be down 4 when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinals live from Comox. Welcome back, everybody, to continuing coverage of the U21 Women's Semifinal here in Comox, BC, live from the Comox Valley Curling Club. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton as we get back to the action. And Will, we talked at the start of that fifth end that it felt like Gracelyn Richards had the better of the game so far, and she certainly proved it there as she missed a draw for 5, but still managed to put 4 on the board in just a completely controlling end.
Absolutely, the teams had the momentum the whole game, and the first 7 rocks of that end, they definitely controlled things. They've won 3 in a row coming into this game, and that end really helped to build their momentum towards winning this game and maybe making it 4 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. As we said, it was the long way home for Richards to get to this game. They had to go all the way through the Page playoff, whereas Bulls winning their pool got a bye right to the AB finals. So, you know, sometimes coming off a loss can be a lot tougher than you know, getting on a little bit of a run like the Richards team has, and maybe that's a little bit of what we're seeing right here, Will. But I have to say, you know, we've talked a lot about these teams. They've played each other a bunch, and, you know, they know each other really well. I thought, you know, I wonder if there's precedent for Team Bulls coming back on Team Richards. And, well, I only had to look to about 4 days ago when they played each other in the first game of this tournament. Team Richards went up 6-1. And then Team Bulls came back and won that game 10-8, stealing an extra end. So it's not only that the precedent is there, they can remember it from 4 days ago on Wednesday.
So they might even know the recipe.
They might even know the recipe. Yeah, it was, the second game of the tournament for Bulls, the first for Richards. Richards stole 2, then Bulls got 1, then Richards got 4 to lead 6-1, and then Bulls got 1, stole 1, stole 1, stole 1, stole 2, and then Richards got 2, Bulls got 1, and then they managed to steal 2 in the extra to win 10-8. So, you know, I was going to ask you, when you're down, you know, you go down 4, you almost went down 5, what are you talking about in the fifth end break? I guess, Will, maybe they're just talking about, hey, remember earlier this week? That might be what they were talking about.
You know, I think they may touch on that, and then you really want to get down to it, though, and talk about what you're going to do as a team in that next end to get back in the game. So, and I think it's pretty simple. When you're down, you know you need some rocks in play, and you're going to need a corner guard up. But it's important that they recognize that there's still 5 more ends of curling to play, and it's not all about getting the lead back in one end, as you kind of spoke there when you read the scores off there. I don't think it was a 4-ender or a 5-ender that comeback happened. It was multiple steals of 1 or 2, and I think it's all about having that perspective and not trying to do it all in one end.
Totally, and we talked about that with the men's game earlier today too, between Kent and Fenton. You know, we saw Fenton go up by quite a bit, and Team Kent was able to work their way back into the game, and it was the same sort of thing. It was just chipping away, and I think especially at this level, at the junior level, sometimes, you know, you do get that tendency to, oh, we got to play a perfect end, we got to get 3 or 4 back right away. And I think both these teams, you know, they're so experienced, they're so well coached, they're not going to rush. You know, Team Bulls is happy to get 2 here, and you know, the one thing that when you get down like this is that often the team that's in the lead will give you 2. You know, if you play a great end, they're not going to go out of, they just don't want to give up 3. So in a lot of cases, they'll happily give you 2. And so if you're Team Bulls, you try to stay in there and make that happen.
Exactly, John. And to your point, bringing it back to this game, the angles right now aren't great for Team Richards. They would have preferred to see those 2 blues more in a straight line with each other, and so for Team Bulls, they know they can make a reasonably easy double later on in this end. So I think you're right that it's about being patient, and you've got a pretty good setup here in the 6th end. So ensure you've got a good chance to score, and it'll likely be for maybe a couple points.
So lined up like that. I was going to say, you know, for Grace McCusker, that was sort of a a bit strange. And I know that they were trying to come around and get the one in the house, but the one thing you didn't want to do is just rub off the guard. If you're going to hit the guard, you want to make sure you remove it from play. But she might have got a little bit lucky there in that the rock rolled just into the forefoot.
No, Chels. Take the roll.
So halfway into this sixth end, if your team bowls, you have to like things. You've got some good separation between your two rocks. Both opposition stones are behind the tee line, and you've got a couple corner guards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice bounce back for Team Bowls so far. But, you know, of course, if Keely Duncan can make this shot, it'll be Richards lying 3 without hammer.
No.
Nice shot there from Keely. And I think the one thing too, Will, if your team bowls, you know, yes, Team Richards got 4, but they missed a shot for 5, and it was just a draw to the paint for 5. So if your team bowls, you'd love to start putting the pressure on and maybe plant that seed in Graceland's head, like, you know, maybe that extra point would have really helped you out.
For sure. I mean, Graceland's a really experienced player, and I'm sure she'll park that missed draw, and I'm sure as it was an uncharacteristic one, open draw to the house. But no, John, I think you're right. That's definitely in the minds as team bowls is there is some unknowns there in draw weight, and they want to try to force Team Richards to throw some draws in the second half of this game as the ice changes like it does in a curling game.
So trying to make a freeze here.
Great shot.
And really nice shot from Meredith Cole. Not the first time we've said that here tonight.
Yeah, she's throwing some high hard ones nicely, and a really good example of the touch weight there with the freeze.
Yeah, we always say if you're going to be a third at this level, you have to have all the shots, and Meredith Cole looking pretty good there.
I can't remember seeing Meredith play anything but third myself. She really does seem to like that position. I could be mistaken, but she seems pretty dialed in to the third spot.
And so that's a mistake there from Keely Duncan, was trying to come down to that yellow one. It over curled. They peeled out their own one off the back, and now all of a sudden 3 might be in play here for Team Bowls.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I like that.
So talking about tapping the yellow onto the blue and trying to bring not only the shooter into play, but also that rock right now. That's
Same weight.
what is it, third shot, John?
14.5.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I think that's the one thing working in the favor of Team Richards right now is that blue is kind of lost and not easy to get at. So
I wonder if it might be worthwhile to just play a draw here rather than actually tap this back, because you're already third shot. So you may end up being fourth shot after you throw this if it over curls.
Hey, it's really got to curl. Charles, are we hitting this out? Kira.
split here is not bad either, to be honest.
No, it's not.
Would love that one to stick around, though. And it will not, so sticks in the house, but does not stick for fifth shot, or fourth shot, rather. It is fifth shot, so yeah, just maybe a little more weight than they were expecting there from Meredith. So Graceland will have a chance to hit and lie 2 here. Obviously, if you're Graceland Richards, a force here would be incredible.
Yeah, wouldn't that be ideal for them? Looking for the nose hit.
So the key here is to stick for Gracelyn Richards. Needs to be second shot. Sweeper's on it right out of the hand. Need this to stick around. And it will. So Richards lying 2. But 2 is still in play here for Bowles, Will. I think if she can make this freeze.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice call here from Team Bowles.
Coming, curling, curling.
Need to be shot.
Roll. Ooh. Okay.
Oh, that worked out well. Just getting a gentle nudge, a friendly kiss off that top yellow one, and it rolls to dead nose frozen on the back one.
I
think Richards can probably just hit this on the nose, and I don't think Bowles can score 2. Just have to make sure you're dead nose here, of course.
Another option, John, would be just to drop to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could do that. You're never in danger of giving up more than 2 here, so drawing to it is also fine, but I don't mind the hit.
It's a little more precise here with the hit.
Yeah,
of
more
the roll.
options too. You can exactly. You can roll off the nose a little bit, and you're probably still okay because the yellow rock would be gone on a hit. So I like this. Final stone here, Gracelyn Richards
Really
in the
hard.
6th.
Hard. Hard. Okay. Whoa, whoa, Carly. Pick it out. Go.
Couldn't do that. And
No.
now there might be a shot here for 3, maybe, if they want to take it on.
Sure. Do you like
Definitely there.
here then?
Yeah.
I like a hair more weight. Do you like here then? Yeah.
Out of nowhere here,
Hair more.
Team Richards is giving Team Bowles a chance to get back into this game.
I like that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the first end where Bowles was never really looking like scoring more than 1, and then all of a sudden had a draw for 3. And same thing
I
here,
think with this ice, I have to be back line.
except it's a tap back instead of a draw. But there are ways for Bowles to score 2 here as well, even if they don't fully get the blue out to make that yellow one in the top ring count. So big shot here for Emily Bowles, could get 3 of those 4 points back. Final stone.
It's up. Lights really up. Hard.
Kira McCoy trying to keep it straight. have to get it past that top yellow in the house. And they will not. So an opportunity wasted for Emily Bowles. Had a chance for 3, but will only get 1. And it will be Gracelyn Richards with the hammer and a 3-point lead when we come back with the 7th end. You're watching the BC U21 Women's Semifinals live from Comox. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. John Cullen alongside former U21 BC men's champion Will Sutton. And Will, we're watching the women's semifinal here. Gracelyn Richards against Emily Bowles. You talked just after the 5th end break about how this has been a game of opportunities, and it does seem like Gracelyn Richards has taken more of those opportunities than Emily Bowles has so far.
Absolutely. I think there's a few points been left on the scoreboard here for Team Bulls today, and I think for them they're going to have to obviously continue to put rocks in play here, and hopefully able to make one of their last ones here, and they're off to a good start here in the 7th end. They were given a bit of a break with a center guard thrown by Team Richards, so see what they can do here. But absolutely, it's going to be about finishing off some of these ends for Team Bulls here in the last 4.
Yeah, so we get a good look at it here, and I think the one thing, Will, that you can take as a positive if you're Team Bulls is that it does seem like Team Richards is a bit of a willing participant. They don't mind having Roxton play.
Exactly, and you've had lots of opportunities throughout this game. So exactly, John. Both teams are comfortable with Roxton play, and I think we'll continue to see that in the last half of this game. Even though Team Richards is leading, may not see them defaulting to a peel game right away here.
Well, and I think too, when you're younger and, you're just kind of getting your feet wet in terms of playing elite strategy and stuff like that, it's never bad to know what you're good at, and Richard seems comfortable with lots of rocks in play. They seem comfortable being on the offense. And, I think sometimes when I think when you get into the men's and the ladies game, you have to be able to play both ways. You have to be able to play offensive. You have to be able to play defensive. But in juniors, you got to work your way into knowing how to do both of those things. And if you're really good at one facet of the game, it's never bad to focus on that and know what you're good at and just keep it going.
Exactly. I mean, we saw Grace McCusker make some really nice runbacks in the first half of this game, but I don't think she wants to have to do that every end, right? And so totally, John, I think it's important to have that balance. And a nice peel here from Grace, though, playing the scoreboard, up 3 with the hammer. So mission accomplished there for Team Richards. Yeah,
I think if you're Team Richards, too, this is the part of the game where Team Bulls, you know, they need to take their chances here. They've got to get a little aggressive. You're down 3, you don't have hammer. And if you're Graceland, you know that. And so, you know, it gives you the opportunity to maybe keep a few rocks around and maybe put up a big score by the time the end is done. So nice sweep there from the 3 ladies, getting that Kira McCoy rock over the hog line.
You threw it good, yeah. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, clean. Yep. Whoa, clean, clean, clean. Good.
And a nice pair of peels there from Grace McCusker.
Just cruising on the other shoe. Oh, whoop. Take a breath.
So Meredith Cole just looking to replace the guard here.
Okay, line's close, gotta curl that. Yeah, looks. Okay.
So Meredith did a really good job there of letting her teammates know that she had given that a good extension, and even if they maybe got a split time that was down, it was
Okay.
not.
16.
Yeah, we see that there right into the top of the house, and they said it was 16 and ended up in the top of the house. So that means draw is at about 15 and a half, which is very, very fast. You talked earlier about how good this ice has been all week, and certainly playing on ice this keen will get these curlers prepared for the arena conditions they'll play on in Stratford at the Nationals.
Yep, hard.
Yeah.
Really nice shot from Keely Duncan.
Sorry. Yeah.
The smile tells it all. Really nice shot. They now lie 2 with the hammer and up 3. It's a good spot to be in. And again, Will, this is where, you know, we talked earlier, Team Bull starting to take some risks. And, you know, they're down 3. The other team's sitting 2, and they're not trying to hit either one of them. So
I assume they called it top 4, John. I guess another option is the center guard, but I think they called it top 4.
I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
just top 8. Just top
Yeah,
8.
top 8. There
Just
we
top
go.
8.
Perfect. I like the call.
We've got room.
But you're right. It's definitely got some risk to it, but I think it speaks to the scoreboard and
Chelsea.
the opportunity.
Chelsea.
No question, yep.
Go hard.
And Meredith has been playing so well this game, or this whole week, from what I understand. That I think it's good to have her make that shot right there too, and she did that pretty well.
Yeah, fantastic shot from Meredith. Yeah, so if you're Keely Duncan, obviously you'd love to make the run back, but even a straight peel here is not a disaster.
No. Okay, Grace. Yeah, right over.
And that is indeed what they have called.
Yeah, right up.
Ooh, hate to lose your own there, but it's all right. The 4-foot still wide open for Graceland Richards.
Yeah.
So I think if the score was closer, like let's say it was 5-4, Richards has hammer, you might see Team Bulls play a hit here, John. But do you ever like the hit in this situation, or the guard's definitely the call, eh?
The guard is certainly the call, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what we've been talking about. You know, you have no choice. If you're Team Bulls, you probably think you need to steal out to win. You probably are assuming you never get the way you win this game is you never get the hammer back. And if you stole 1 point every end, you'd win the game 8-7. So, you know, I think that's their mindset right now, is just to try and get steals on the board and make Gracelyn Richards as uncomfortable as possible. So the guard is absolutely the call.
Just wanted to. 3. Okay, it's curling now.
4-3. 4-3.
Sit. Ah. Okay.
A nice shot there from Emily Bowles. And I think we'll probably see Gracelyn just straight peel here.
Yeah, I think we go for it. Play it this way. Or this way.
She's talking about playing the run back,
But then
but
I'm definitely
I'm
gonna
not in love with
try
that
next.
call, because if you make the run
We gotta
back,
put this in, I'll play tight.
she has the draw back.
You're
It's
crossing, right?
reminded me a little bit of the junior men's game earlier, where they played the run back and
Just
jammed
cross it.
everything. The team Fenton did, and it
seconds.
didn't quite work out. Whereas just playing the open peel might have been the safer call, and because
Just a hair
like
more.
I think really giving up 2 here is not an option, but a steal of 1 really would not be a big deal.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You never want to nut
Whoa,
this,
whoa,
that's for
whoa,
sure.
Close. Carly. Carly. Roll it, Carly. Yep, right over.
That'll work.
Yeah, because there's that'll work for sure. I mean, the problem with playing the run back there is there's just a lot of ways it can go wrong. You can nut it, meaning you would stick the yellow right there, and then Bowles can now draw around and they're lying 2 behind cover. You could also peel it just not far enough and you block your own draw path on your last one. And even if you make the desired result, the run back, you're leaving a center guard and Emily Bowles can come around it. And are you really going to run your own in? You know, I don't know. It just was a call there where I think the straight peel was the best result for them. And that's what ended up
Agreed.
happening. So it worked out fine. But in any case, it's sometimes for the skip, it's all about what you see. If you feel really comfortable with the run back, then go for it. So Emily here, I think, is just guarding. You might see some teams come in and tap their own rock here, but I think this one's in the top 8 in a pretty good spot. So you guard this and you force Gracelyn to have to draw the forfeit.
Yeah, I like the guard. It keeps the max amount of separation between the rock you're trying to steal with and the shooter. Well
And
done.
perfect spot. Yep. Great spot from Emily Bowles. And I'm a little
this is
shocked to see
interesting.
Gracelyn not drawing here. Yeah.
9. Same way. Yeah.
I mean, I know she hasn't drawn that much this game, but I think you'd see most skips in this situation throw a draw.
Right to the room.
Yeah, there's no question if you look at the degree of difficulty of the 2 shot options here. The out-turn draw to the 4-foot would have a less degree of difficulty than the run back, but again, it is preference.
Touch more.
Yep.
Touch more.
Oh,
All right, well, we'll see if the preference pays off here for Gracelyn Richards, trying to make a run back. And she will blow it by, so it is a steal of 1 for Team Bowles. Not out of it yet, but Gracelyn Richards will have the hammer and a 2-point lead when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinal live on Curl BC TV. And we're back. John Cullen, Will Sutton here with you as we take in BC Women's U21 semifinal action. Gracelyn Richards, Emily Bowles, two teams very familiar with each other, locked in another battle here. And Will, we talked about it at the end of the 7th end there. Gracelyn Richards had a chance to just draw for a piece of the forefoot to get her 1 point, elected to play the run back. I talked about how I was a little surprised by it. Were you as well?
Absolutely. We talked a little bit about preference there politely, but at the end of the day, that was a chance to really go to school on what draw weight is in the 7th end of this game when it's changing. And it was an easier shot than the run back. That not only you have to make the run back, but you also have to make both go away there. So it would have been one thing if it was for multiple points or if there was a bonus on the other end. But being that it was only for 1 point, it was a little bit surprising, and it'll be interesting to see what happens later on in the game if Team Richards needs to throw any draws.
Yeah, and I think your point there is really well made, right? It's, you know, we saw Gracelyn have the open draw for 5. She came up short of the house. She's thrown mostly hits all game. So I definitely understand feeling more comfortable and feeling like, okay, I feel good about this run back. I just threw it. You know, I feel like I can make it maybe better than the draw. But I think your point is exactly dead on. Yet, if you don't know draw weight, at some point you got to figure it out. So if you're giving up only a steal of 1 either way, if you miss the shot, why wouldn't you try and throw the draw to get a little bit of the feel for it? Even if you miss it, you get a little bit of that feel.
Exactly, yeah, and it could be a case of tunnel vision, could be a number of reasons, and yeah, it's always easier from the bird's eye view here, but yeah, that was a little surprising, and it's going to be interesting in the last 3 to see if it has any impact on the game.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Always easier to do when we're here. And of course, as we say, skips have preferences. And if that's what they feel is the best shot, then, you know, who are we to judge? But just a little comment to just see if that does play a role later on in the game, as it's now only a 2-point game. But Richards does still have hammer. And this is the important 8th end here, Will. You know, I think we had almost this exact scenario earlier in the men's game. Not just this. We had this exact scenario. It was just 6-4 instead of 7-5. But we talked about it a lot. I think for Richards, they'd just love to get 1 point here in the 8th.
Exactly, yeah. They've got 2 hammers to 1 right now, and you'd really like to keep it that way by at least scoring with the hammer here, and ideally not giving up a steal, and then double ideally not giving up a steal of 2.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we saw earlier in the men's game. Adam Fenton cutting it a little close, giving up a steal of 2 in this exact scenario, but he was lucky to get 2 back in the 9th and then win the game in the 10th. But yeah, this is certainly a situation for Gracelyn where, you know, they get 1 on the board. They have a 3-point lead with only 2 ends to go. They'd feel pretty good about it. So another chance here to peel the front and get rid of a bunch of these rocks for Grace McCusker.
Going to be tough to get more than one of the yellows going here, I think, John.
Yeah, I think so too, but you're happy to lose your own blue. Very nice from Grace McCusker.
So the good news for Team Richards is there's not a lot up front. If you're wondering why Grace might not have had a big smile on her face there, she probably didn't like that she rolled a yellow into the rings. But in terms of threatening stones right now, that was a great shot, a good shot. Sorry.
Line's a little tight. Where are we? 2-2. We're just a 1. Over and off. Over and off. We're just a 1. Over and off. Gotta clean. We gotta go. Get it over. Over and off. Just over and off. Hold. 6. Okay. That's good, Merritt. 19.
Nice shot there from Meredith Cole. I like this call from Graceland. You know, I think the conventional wisdom is you always peel here, but with 2 rocks in the house for bowls, I don't mind getting rid of this one. And if you can make a good roll here, you're really laughing.
Carly. Whoa, whoa. Grace, Grace. Hard. Hard. Roll it. Gotta go. Hard.
If you're
Sit. Nice.
wonderful shot. If your
Great
team
shot.
bowls, though, obviously you're not totally unhappy here. If your goal is to score, the scoring area is getting pretty small, and chance to lots of rocks left in this end to tap one back here. So setting up for an interesting 8th end.
Back 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Keely Duncan made a good shot, and Meredith Cole going to have to answer here. Tap this one up to the button.
Do you like this? Weights down. Let me slow down. Gotta curl still. Line's close. Top 8. Top 8. Gotta go for weight. Okay, hard then. Hard. Top 8. Curl, curl, curl. Hard curl. Roll on that, Kira.
So a little light from Meredith Cole, but still a lot of yellow stones up in front of the house. And now if you're
Unfortunate
Graceland, what do you
result
do
in
here?
terms of the angles, but yeah, what do you do? Have a look here at the overhead.
Yeah, it's one of those weird situations where you don't really want to peel because the yellows are guarding your blue stone, but you also don't really want to put another blue one in there because it might give an opportunity for Emily Bowles to use it in some way. So tricky little shot here for Keely Duncan.
We're sliding so much.
Back 8.
No, gotta be second at least.
Back 8. I think we're gonna.
Yeah, if they're just second shot at the back of the house, it's actually not that bad. You'd love to be second, though.
Okay. Holy.
Yeah, sweeper's kind of backed off of that. I might have tried to sweep that back a little further rather than leave it right there, but not a bad spot for Keely Duncan.
What are you throwing at? I actually know where it was. Yeah.
So the call here is the freeze.
Always back line.
I think they
Or
might
did
just
I
be
hear
trying
back
to
line?
tap. Yeah, I think they're trying to tap
yeah,
and get
back
inside
line.
it a little bit
Yeah,
here, Will. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
the freeze doesn't really help them here, I don't think.
No, it
so,
doesn't.
Yeah, I like the call.
Yeah.
Tough shot.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, tough shot for sure. Just a little tap and roll in, and
14.
I mean, at this point, if you're Emily Bowles, it's going to be pretty tough to get to that shot stone. So you're just trying not to give up more than one here.
Okay, weight's good. 13.
Weight's good. Hair down. Weight's close. Just back line. Back line. Just back line. Hard. Hard.
Got to get by that guard. And they will not. And now all of a sudden, Team Bowles finding themselves in some big trouble.
We switched. We tried to go around it. Okay. We weren't gonna curl up.
I thought I didn't understand the shot.
So Graceland, I
from the
think,
draw
is trying to
here.
go. Yeah, I think she said she wants to go like top 12, top 8, and I kind of like just coming right into the button. I don't think Emily Bowles has any way of getting to it.
Agreed, John. I think if you even come top 4, you're okay there, and coming right in exactly, I think is the call. Otherwise, you may just see Team Bowles tap their own up if you don't come into that scoring area.
You can go wait a bit.
Yeah, so they seem to want it short, and I don't know That's where I would put
So
it personally, but that'll work. They're sitting 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with that guard out front, actually, they don't really have a whole lot here, so I don't actually mind that
Yes.
spot.
Maybe.
It must be a little more behind the guard than. Oh yeah, there's the angle we needed to see.
Yeah, I forgot about that high guard there. So yeah, that's actually a really nice spot for Graceland. I think if you're Emily, you kind of just, geez, you might just have to pound this, try to get rid of 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're short on time.
I don't.
Actually, no, we're fine.
I don't think you can get here.
Yeah, I don't really know what Bowles has. You almost have to play the double run here, Will.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw the intern draw, try and bite the forefoot, and you'd probably leave a simple tap for 2. That might be the call here. But
Yeah, I think you got to try to score. You go down 4, I think it's game over. So I don't know. We'll see what Chris Summers says here.
Yeah, because we like did it in 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keely, your hit and roll is really nice. Yeah.
Try to run that back there. Try to sit there. If you don't think that tap's there, that's the only shot you have.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Throw the other thing.
It has to be. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can try.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So one of those situations, Will, not really a lot of joy here for Emily Bowles. You're either trying to make a double, maybe you get really lucky and get all 3 of them moving, or you're trying a really difficult double run back tap, or you're trying a way out in the wings draw to get into the forefoot to cut them down to only 2. So just not a lot of great options here for Emily.
yeah, I agree, John. I think you want to play the shot here that makes the shot for 2 the hardest. I'm not sure you're ever making a triple here, so I think it's important to be realistic on this one for sure. But what are they looking to do here? Make the double on the top one here and the rock on the button, I believe.
I actually think they're trying to make the other one go away, because then you nose and you sit right there, and it makes the draw really difficult for 2. I think was the call. I'm not sure exactly what I heard, but the point is you just got to make 2 of them go away, and if you can sit right there, might make Graceland's draw all that much harder. So big shot here for Emily Bowles. And she will get 2 of them out. Yes. Really nice shot from Emily. And so Graceland's going to have to go wide here to try and get her 2. So we've seen Graceland be a little bit reluctant to draw, and she did miss the house on her draw for 5 in the 5th. So we'll see if she can find draw weight here. Just needs a piece of the 8-foot to score 2, and it would be a big 2 indeed.
Felt good. Yep. Can't hurt it. Graces. No, it's not curling, guys. It's not curling, no. Easy.
They need this one to stop. And it will. So put 2 on the board for Graceland Richards. They will take a 9-5 lead here into the 9th end. Emily Bowles, we'll see if she can do some damage with the hammer when we come back. You're watching the U21 Women's Semifinal live on Curl BC TV and cbcsports.ca. Hello, curling fans. Welcome back. Continuing coverage of the U21 BC Women's Provincials. You're watching the semifinal between Graceland Richards and Emily Bowles. Another contest between these two fantastic young ladies teams, and it's been mostly one-way traffic here so far. John Cullen alongside Will Sutton, and it's Graceland Richards up by 4 with only 2 ends to go. And Will, we have to say it's looking pretty darn good for the Richards team from Comox Valley.
It is, John, and Carly Hardy just did job number 1 with a well-placed first stone here in the 9th end, and Team Bowles has thrown the second corner guard as expected. So look to see Carly Hardy make another draw here, and it was a really nice draw by Graceland Richards to close out the 8th end to get her deuce. So I'm sure that'll be good for her if she needs to throw a draw later on in this game. So so nice to see her make that draw for 2.
Yep, absolutely, and a great position to be in if you're Richards here. You can give up 2, you could even give up 3, and you wouldn't feel that fussed about it. So just looking to have a decent end here and limit the damage and come home with hammer up a couple and close it out.
And I think I misspoke on when we were on the break there. It looks like Team Richards might have thrown the first one through for Carly because there was only 1 rock in play. So I assume they threw it through based on the scoreboard.
Yes, I believe they did as well. So as we said, the winner of this game will move on to face Holly Hafeli in the finals. We'll have that for you tomorrow live on Curl BC TV and cbcsports.ca. And we will also have
familiar
the men's
territory
final.
For
Sorry, go ahead, Will.
John. I was just going to say familiar territory for Team Hafeli. We saw them out practicing during the first half of this game, getting a feel for the rocks they'll be using tomorrow and the ice as well. So saw them out practicing, and they had this experience at the special U21 qualifier. So this isn't new to them, and they're looking to build on that and come out tomorrow in the final against whichever one of these teams comes out on top.
So yeah, we'll have that game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time as we see Grace McCusker. Very nice shot there, getting rid of 2 yellows. So yeah, Team Hafeli, thank you for the gentle correction of my pronunciation of her last name. Team Hafeli will play the winner of this game tomorrow at 2 p.m. And of course, we'll also have the men's final tomorrow. Connor Dean, undefeated so far in this competition, will be facing off against Adam Fenton, who we saw win the semifinal earlier today. And as we said, both of those teams are already through to the nationals, but a provincial title will be on the line, and a chance for Connor Dean to make history that may never happen again, where he could win 2 provincial titles in one season. I don't think we've, at the same level, I don't think we've ever seen that before. So, you know, they'll be gunning for it. And, of course, Adam Fenton will too. So it should be a great one. That'll be at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow.
For sure, lots on the line there. Also mentioned to Josh Mickey, who was the last rep for a BC U21 team when we had the junior nationals at Langley. So so he's defending all sorts of things back to the pre-COVID days of U21 curling.
Okay, good rock. Good sweep.
Feel like a corner ever? No. I don't know. What? I don't like it. Okay. Corner
So-
then? Like even like here?
Good feedback there from Meredith, kind of pivoting away from playing any kind of hit right now based on the scoreboard.
Curl. 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 Okay. Sorry, Mary. Sorry, Mary. 16-5.
So just talking about whether to play the peel or hit the rock in the rings, and get late enough in this end. I think it's worth hitting the rock in the rings if you see enough of it.
Good way. Nice 11.
Just 11.
Good call here from Team Richards, playing in their home club.
11
No,
solid.
no, 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 no. Grace for everything.
Yeah, just one of those. You want to make sure you play it tight.
Gotta go hard. Very good.
As I say that, they're maybe in danger of missing it wide. Really good sweep
Okay.
from
Good
Grace
job by
McCusker.
Grace there.
Yeah, to bring that over. I'm just getting a mid-game text here from Carla Thompson, BC mixed champion this year, former BC Scotties champion,
You like this?
telling me you're right, Will. It is Holly Halfley. So if they're listening, I'm sure they're probably watching this game, and I apologize for getting your name wrong, but I'm looking forward to getting it right tomorrow during the ladies' final. So,
And I'm sure Carla is cheering for them. She's a high school teacher, if I'm not mistaken, in the Kamloops area, and Team Halfley are all high school students in the Kamloops area. So I'm sure she's cheering for her home club team there.
yeah, she told me she teaches them. So it's not even just
cool,
that, it's not even just that they're of high school age and Carla's a teacher. She teaches them. So, yeah, certainly I would imagine we'll be cheering for them tomorrow in this U21 final. And we'll see which team will get the opportunity to play them. And right now it's certainly looking like it might be Graceland Richards, as they're lying 3 without hammer and just looking to lob another one in there.
Pretty much what I threw in my last draw. Yeah. I added. No. No, we're over curling. Whoa. Okay. No, line's good. It's Grace's. We can bump it. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Leave it. Sit.
Nice shot there from Graceland Richards, and not going to be an easy task for Emily Bowles to score 2 here.
Exactly, John, and obviously one not enough, trailing by 4 here. 2 ends to go.
Yeah, we do. We don't have a lot of time here. I think you gotta do something on those. I think we have. We could. Do you like this? Maybe, actually, I don't mind this. Sure. Okay. Put the, like what you're thinking. Little, needs more. Yeah.
So they're going to play the draw around the blues, and the challenge with this draw is it's going to leave Graceland a really short little run back if you are successful. But the challenge with playing a double on the front there is Graceland's just going to have an open hit to pick it out of there, and you're not going to get it two that way. So understand the call here, even though it's not really going to leave a real likely two. It's the only real chance at two right now, I think, John.
Yeah, totally agree.
Gotta go. Top 12. Top 12. Get it there, hard.
Chelsea Taylor and Kira McCoy trying to get it there.
We're just fighting.
And they will come up short. So Richards lying 4 without hammer, leading by 4. And this is starting to look like an impossible mountain to climb here for Emily Bowles. And I think especially if Graceland can make this one, I don't even know how she scores here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Put this in the
guard fine. Let her play
tight guard to top 8 area, and
if we can.
it's going to be pretty hard to score for sure.
Yeah, even short of the rings, exactly. If you sort of plug that hole there, I don't even know if Emily can score. So just got to make sure it's on the right line here for Graceland Richards, and
I think we're there. 8.
could be the end for Emily Bowles.
Coming off. 12.
Screws hard. Hard. Come on, girls, drag it. Wrap it.
And as we said, that's just fine right there, Will. It's really tricky here for Emily.
Yeah, it looks like that angle tap on the. Oh, no, that's not even there. I'm not seeing much here to score.
Yeah. Okay, so a little less then. Little less.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to tap.
Yeah,
I
and
think you
just get a
can-
little
yeah.
corner of the butt.
Yeah, I think if you're just off nose, you can probably get it in there for 1, but certainly not an easy shot. And even if you get 1, you're down 3 without hammer. So
Back 4. Little
this is just to decide whether or not we have to play one more end here, I think.
Yeah.
So final stone here for Emily Bowles, facing 4, down 4.
Yeah. No. Kira.
And this is well wide. Just a lot more weight than they were expecting, and it'll be a steal of 2 for Graceland Richards. And I would venture to say that that might be it. And it is indeed. So just like the U18 final, Graceland Richards will come out on top and will advance to the final tomorrow to play Holly Halfley. It's going to be a great day of finals tomorrow on Curl BC TV. The men's final at 9 a.m. Pacific, the ladies at 2 p.m. Pacific. We'll be here calling all the action. Curl BC TV, cbcsports.ca. Congratulations to Graceland Richards. We look forward to the finals tomorrow. For Will Sutton, I'm John Cullen. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow.